The tortured prisoner is someone that's very easily overlooked inside of Lords of the Fallen, and the questline that goes with her is a very intriguing one. I want to go through all the different steps so that you can follow along and unlock these endgame items. Let's get into it. Before you can even start to think about doing this questline, you need to get the Skyrest bridge key, which I'm going to very quickly show you as best as I possibly can. From the Sanctuary fast travel point, you're going to have to go through this series of mazes, jump points, and a bunch of different enemies. Thankfully, they're all very low level, so you can get this location and this key unlocked very early on. Again, once you're going through here, be sure you don't get knocked off by the guys that push you off the cliff, because this has happened to me several times. Once you get to the point where you find this elevator, you're going to have to wait for it for a little bit, but it takes you up to a certain point, which is underneath the Skyrest bridge location where you fought Pieta, which is kind of ironic. Now, once you get to a certain location underneath this bridge part, and I'll show you here in a second, you have to jump into the Umbral Realm, because this is the only way you're going to be able to get this key, because it's on one of those little vestige bellies. What you're going to see is a very small ledge that you need to jump onto right where I am before you pull over a bridge over to this belly that you pop open, which is going to allow you to get the Skyrest bridge key. Now, the location to find the actual tortured prisoner is in the Skyrest bridge itself. So from the Skyrest bridge fast travel point, the one where you go back and talk to all the different NPCs to get loot and sell stuff, follow the pathing that I'm showing you here, which is going to bring us back to the skeleton bridge that we were on before, where we actually got the bridge key itself. Simply go over this pile of rocks and you'll find a door that you can open to get you underneath Skyrest bridge itself. And once you enter this area from this door, it's also very easy to find the tortured prisoner herself. All you have to do is go up this giant winding staircase and go all the way to the right where you find the prison cell, and you'll see her just sitting there without any dialogue until you get her the Searing, Accusation, Inferno catalyst, which is also inside this very room. At the entrance of this room, you'll see a ladder that you can climb up, but it's blocked behind one of the vestiges that you have to destroy other vestiges around. It's a very simple puzzle. Once you unlock this door, you can go to this vestige belly, which is also where you can pop it open and get the Searing, Accusation, Inferno catalyst. Now with the catalyst in hand, you return to the prisoner in the same room and hand it over to her. Now nothing's really going to happen immediately. You'll lose the Searing catalyst only for a little while if you haven't beaten the boss that coincides with this. Now she will disappear when you do return, but you can't have any more dialogue with her at the moment. And if you do return to look for her, there'll be a dropped item there, which will actually just be the tortured prisoner's head cage, which is just the thing that she had on her head when you were talking to her, and that didn't allow her to speak to you. After you free the tortured prisoner, the next thing you have to do is go through the main story until you get against the giant, which is in Lower Calrath, the Lower Calrath boss, which really isn't a difficult boss fight once you learn how to do it. I'm not going to show you the boss fight, just the item that you get after you have defeated the boss, because you need this giant eyeball to actually unlock the next step of the questline. And now that you have this giant's eyeball, you can make your way back to where you fought Pieta on the Skyrest bridge, and right next to the giant that's in the beginning of this boss fight's entrance, you'll actually see the torture prisoner just standing there, hanging around for whatever reason. She'll start talking to you a little bit and really ask that you bring her something that reminds you of the giant that is right next to her. This is where the giant eyeball comes into play. When you have the eyeball inside your inventory, you'll get prompted to hand over the giant eyeball to her after you talk to her for a little bit. You'll get rid of the giant eyeball and then also get the Searing Inferno catalyst back to you. And by doing this, it one progresses the questline even more, and two unlocks the pirate cultist shop. She has a bunch of different things inside the shop right away, and depending how far along you are inside of your playthrough, there will be different items inside of the shop. But from here, you need to make your way into Upper Calrath to grab a particular set of armor or more of an outfit set, which really isn't all that hard to come across, but just in case you overlooked it or just simply didn't pick it up, I'm going to show you very quickly from where you actually interact with the Roner and the dogs when you first get to Upper Calrath in that big open area, the kind of arena setting. Go into these back rooms, and when you're going to come across a stall where there's a noblewoman laying down on the ground, this is where you can actually pick up this armor set. It is a very silly looking set, but I have also not found any other point to this armor set outside of this questline. But now that you have this, I need you to go to where you fought the Lower Calrath boss, the giant. If you need a quick refresher on how to get there, it's going to be closest to the district fast travel point, and while you're there, I want you to make sure that you have this armor set, this outfit equipped, because she's not really going to talk to you in the same way to help progress the storyline unless you're wearing this outfit for whatever reason. Now that you're in there, it's really just a simple conversation with her, and this will progress the storyline and will probably unlock some more stuff inside of her shop. Now, after you talk to her in Lower Calrath in that arena, you will not be able to talk with her again, at least progressing the storyline, until you get a charred letter inside of Bramis Castle. The letter is not hard to miss, but easily overlooked, as some of these items in this questline are. I'm showing you from on the other side of the Fire River because it's going to be one of the easiest locations to show you. You'll be going up the stairs until you come across this pile of bodies and pile of paper that's just sitting on the edge. There's going to be an item there that you can pick up, and this is going to be the charred letter. The Bramis Castle is a very late game location, so don't be surprised if you don't come across it until you're almost done with the game. Just keep that in mind. But now that you do have the charred letter in your possession at the Bramis Castle location, make your way back to Upper Calrath and all the way to the beacon. You're actually going to find the tortured prisoner on the other side of the gate right next to this beacon. You can interact with her before you get the charred letter, though you're only going to get a vial of perfume that you can use in the final boss fight right before you fight the endgame boss. Hand over the charred letter to help progress the questline. She'll give you a very interesting set of comments and just really kind of more backstory. But from this interaction, when you're done, she will leave if you return, but the next time you'll see her will be at Bramis Castle. And this next part is very important because when you do interact with her right next to the vestige of Bramis Castle, you need to make sure you grab this next item before you go fight the final boss, because she will turn evil against you if you don't. And this item is called the Swaddling cloth, which can only be found inside of the throne bedroom inside of Bramis Castle. Like I said, Bramis Castle is definitely a late game, end game location. All the enemies are super powerful. There's a lot of mini bosses in here that you fought before throughout the playthrough. Just keep that in mind. What you're going to have to do is go up the staircase after you flip a switch inside of the main throne room, and you also need to get the king's key to unlock the door that I went through at the top of the staircase. I'll quickly show you where both of these locations are so that you don't get sidetracked and actually go up the stairs yourself before switching over. This is the location for the switch, and follow the pathing from the switch. Go up the stairs after you have switched it in through this doorway across the bridge in the middle, and you'll find the key on this bookshelf. Going from the bottom of the staircase after you have switched it, and now that you have the key, back up the staircase through the library location, up a pair of stairs again, where you're going to come across a bowman, a dog, and then also two ruiners on the bridges below, so keep that in mind. Just simply run past them. The ruiners really won't chase you into the bedroom, because the next room that you come across after rolling past them is going to be the bedroom. What you're going to see inside a crib is actually going to be the Swaddling cloth. With this final item in hand, I want you to make your way back to the tortured prisoner where you left her, and hand over the Swaddling cloth to her, and you'll start to see that she's slowly starting to become more regular, not insane as you first met her inside of the prison cell. Also, at this point, buy everything you want from her inventory before progressing forward. This will be the last time you can, because the next thing you have to do is defeat the monarch, which honestly I don't find to be a terribly difficult boss battle, but you do have to defeat him to progress the storyline and just the general full-on storyline that you're going for overall in the game. Once you have defeated the monarch and followed all these steps as I was showing them to you, you can go and talk to the prisoner after watching a short cutscene of her walking up to this location right in front of the king and queen's thrones. You'll start to see that she has all of her memories and her sanity back. What you start to realize is that this person is actually not just any regular tortured prisoner. She is actually the queen of this entire realm, and starts to tell you a little bit about what happened to her. And with some parting words and describing some of her story, she will take her last breaths, which will allow you to have the achievement unlocked that goes along with this, and you also get Queen Sophicia's ring. Now the questline is officially done, but you can get additional items that were left by her in the location that you talked to her last, right next to the fast travel point of Bramis Castle. In front of the red gemstones where you left her last, you'll be able to get Queen Sophicia's catalyst in all of her outfit that she was wearing before you saw her at the very end. Now the armor really isn't anything special, but Queen Sophicia's catalyst is probably the strongest Inferno catalyst in the game, especially when you scaled a lot more, especially since it starts off with Inferno scaling level B. A great thing to pick up, especially if you want to use this catalyst later on. And we can't forget Queen Sophicia's ring either, because it is a very powerful ring, especially for mages, because the Sanguinarix restores mana as well as health, and not just health, which if you're like me and use some mana inside of your playthroughs, this is definitely a ring you want to get for your next playthrough. But that is the full walkthrough of how you can go through the Tortured Prisoner questline. I hope you guys found this helpful. If you did, make sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons. Leave a comment if you have any questions around this, or if I missed some details that I should have put into the video. Let me know. I will catch you guys in the next video.